Hello everyone, I'm Tanya Josephine here to talk to you about the summit slate. Here with me today are Aggie NOW, Vice President of ASUCD, and Alyssa Vandenberg from the Aggie.
Hi.
Hi. Here are the candidates running under summit slate. We have Alex Kaiser, Simran Grewal, Julie Jung, and Zach Moore. Alex Kaiser wants to expand unit resources, increase awareness of mental health resources, and alter current ICA payment method from student fees to school paid fees. Simran wants to increase public health education and awareness, improve Shields Library, increase dietary diversity, and graduate program resources for undergrads. Julie wants to help basic needs and securities, increase representation for international students in leadership positions, and give aid to ASUCD units. Zach Moore wants to increase career prep resources, study spaces, and buddy benches. So how do we all feel about Summit Slate this time around?
I think there's a really interesting mix. We have Zach, who's never really been involved in Senate, and then we have Julie, who's an interim senator currently, who has a lot of experience. But I think one thing across the board is that they all have really put a lot of thought into their plans of how they want to get certain platforms done.
Yeah, especially with Julie. I know she was an assistant to Alex Lee for the longest time, and then now that she got appointed interim senator, how does that work?
So she got appointed interim senator. One of our senators resigned, and then we had to fill that slot. And so we interviewed Julie, and we thought that she was the most qualified of the candidates in our candidate pool.
Okay, so we also know that from the Senate table, a lot of people have been dropping in and out, here and there over time. Not just how prepared, but what do you feel like these candidates know enough about the position? Because a lot of them might want it at first, and I know previous people have mentioned that, oh, maybe it's just a little bit for the resume or something, but do you feel like they're actually here for the students, or? Okay.
I think one thing that's really important is that 3 senators have resigned within Alex Lee's presidency. So I think anyone who's running for Senate should make sure that they're willing to fully commit to the full term, especially if they want to get their platforms done in time. Because it is hard to get a full platform done within your time. It's a lot of collaborating with others, and there's a lot of hoops to jump through, I know.
Yeah, okay, let's hop over to the platforms. What are you excited about? What are you a bit iffy about?
Yeah, so I think in terms of Simran, I'm pretty excited about her platforms. She is actually where she works for me. She's my chief of staff currently. Hopefully not too much longer because she wins. But I think I really enjoy her platforms. I think that especially the library platform she has to increase the amount of, or make the library 24 hours during finals week. So that'll be a great resource to students. I know a lot of people are struggling to find study space on campus during finals week, and I think increasing the library, which is a huge study space, 24 hours for that entire week of finals will really help out our students.
And the coffee vending machines.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
One thing I found really interesting about her as a candidate is that she's not a poli-sci major like a lot of senators are. She's involved in public health, and I think that's really interesting to have different perspectives on Senate, because I think it helps with representation. Absolutely. And I really appreciated that she's using that background to do things in public health. For example, she wants up the Coho for there to be themed nights like there are at the dining halls. That way people have more of a chance to utilize that. She wants to have there be more vegetarian options, vegan options. So yeah, I think she's really trying to look into specific needs that the student body wants.
What do you feel about the ones about increasing unit resources and just really supporting all the other ASUCD units beyond exec?
I feel really good about those platforms. I think that units are the backbone of ASUCD. Obviously, we kind of just brag about this $13 million budget we have, but we don't really think about what consists of that $13 million budget, and that's our units. So as a slate, we really want to be able to be unit focused and unit oriented, and so some of our candidates, I'm really glad that they're taking that on. And I know Julie, she specifically really wants to get BUD started, so that was a bill passed last spring, I believe, the Board of Unit Directing Students. And that's really just something that where unit directors can come together to collaborate on different ideas that they might have and really cross-collaborate for units and increase the efficiency of all units, which I'm all for.
And just kind of like to increase voting among the undergrad students. Maybe we could talk a little more about what senators actually do.
Sure. So the role of a senator, and we always say this, is to just represent the student body. So what does that really mean? That's a pretty broad definition, but really senators kind of typically really represent the communities that they come from, and then their jobs consist of obviously representing that community. If they need anything, then you are that go-to person to kind of like, hey, we need this, can you do something? And then they're going to try and work with the administration, they're going to try and work with ASUCD, they're going to try and work with the units to see what they can get done.
Yeah, I would agree. I think a lot of students don't realize how much Senate it does for the university, and also what a big role that they can play. I know in past years, turnout has not been that great. I think last year, the year before, the lowest was 9%. And I think that's really sad because you have a say in who you want to represent you, and I think voters should take advantage of that.
Okay, so are there any specific platforms you're most excited about?
One thing I'm really interested in seeing is Zach's Buddy Bench program. I think UC Davis does have this stereotype of being very friendly, very welcoming to newcomers, and that's one of the parts I love most about Davis. And I feel like that really capitalizes on this. So the Buddy Bench, for those who don't know, is a program where there's a bench, it's going to be painted a certain color or have a certain sign, and essentially it's just if you sit on it, you know that others are welcome to come up and start talking to you. So I think that's a really helpful tool for freshmen or transfers who might not know a lot of people on campus yet, to just kind of welcome in more people to talk to them.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about? Any last words?
Yeah, so some of our other candidates as well, for Alex Kaiser, I really enjoy his platforms as well. So there's one that he wants to, if students don't know the current ICA funding model, so ICA is intercollegiate athletics, and students pay a hefty amount of money every quarter to pay towards athletics. And I know our current athletic director, Dr. Blue, he really wants to go away from that model because a lot of schools don't have the model that we have. ICA is usually funded through the university, but at UC Davis we're a little bit different in ICA being funded by the students. And so as we do fund it, we are the main stakeholders in that association. So hopefully through that platform, Alex can work with the athletics and ICA to slowly move away from that model and have the campus pick up the tab on that.
Alright, thank you so much for coming in today, and everybody make sure to watch the Coho debate. That is next Monday, and voting starts November 8th through 10th. Also, comment below where in the world you would like to have some coffee to win some free Temple gift cards.
So if you like this week's episode, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And make sure to watch us every single week.